I can't believe Linda Moulton Howe. Oh my gosh. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Sway. That's right, welcome back to the channel where I give you my absolute honest opinion, and I don't give a damn how you feel about it. And as always, I have a trusty herbal smoke, a trusty Coke. But before I get started, do not forget to hit like, make a comment, hit the subscribe button, press the notification icon so you can be notified every time that I post a video. Yeah, alright. Woo-wee. Alright everybody, and just another thing, just to get it out of the way. For many of you, you know that I love to paint. I love to paint. Yes, I do. I love to paint. You've probably seen some of my paintings that I posted on Twitter. So I want you to understand that yes, I do sell my paintings, you know, and one of the things about my paintings, they're for sale, but I'm trying to raise a decent amount of cash. I'm trying to raise a decent amount of cash so I can go to and visit my daughter for this summer. And so if anybody wants to help support, this channel, support my goal to visit my daughter this summer, well, you can cash at me, Venmo me, PayPal. You can buy me a coffee. Yes, buy me a coffee. Or you can go to my Facebook art page. You can go to my Facebook art page, Art by Jome, okay? And let me just share it right now. You go to my Facebook art page, Art by Jome. It looks just like this, Art by Jome. The links to everything's gonna be in the description box below. You go to Art by Jome, and you can take a look at any of my art that's for sale, and you go into the photos section, go into the albums section, into artwork, and you'll see a display of all the different artwork that I've done. Anything that's for sale, it's gonna say it's for sale and available. Anything that's not for sale because I've either sold it or I've given it away to somebody is gonna say that it's not available. So take a look at you know, anything that you want to buy. I will be posting more stuff as I go along, but as you can see here, this one's available for sale, and all you gotta do is contact me in my email, either my email josuemercadoproductions@protonmail.com, or contact me here on Facebook to the Art by Jome page. You know, if you're interested in buying some artwork, that's simple. So, oh my gosh, a lot of stuff is happening. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Where Linda Moulton Howe, she was, I guess I haven't seen everything yet. I haven't seen the whole thing yet. But she was on Theories of Everything with Kurt, and he goes into the part of the show where he's asking questions from the audience, you know, from the live chat and from Reddit and, you know, everywhere else. and he goes on to ask a question that Stephen Cambian asked. That he made a comment, and he asked the question, and she totally freaking flips out. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm laughing my ass off and everything, because it's like she tries to make it look like she was set up or something like that. And I don't know what to tell you. I don't, it's what the hell? What the hell? Like, seriously, it was just, how can I put this? And you probably hear it as I'm okay. And it's just, you know what? Let's go into it. Let's go into the channel real quick.
So this one.
So let me put on my headset while I'm at it. All right, so I'm still laughing my ass off at all of this, because I got to see the whole interview. I haven't seen all the interview that Kurt did, and I don't know much about Kurt. I haven't seen a lot of his stuff. So, but from what I've gathered, he's done a decent job when it comes to asking the questions that some people may not ask. And at least that's what I've heard. Like I said, I don't know much about the guy. I haven't really seen his channel like that, but I'm gonna have to get into it, checking out a lot of the other stuff that he's done. So I'm here on and this is Stephen Cambian. This is his edit on it. I love how he did it. So I'm gonna leave a link. I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description box below, and then Stephen Cambian on this video, and it has he has the links to Kurt's interview with her, and you have, and I'm just gonna play it. I'm gonna play it, and then I'm gonna kind of comment on this. Again, I love Stephen Cambian's edit on this. He did a really good job, as he does. All right, so let's check this out. Let's play it.
This question is a tough question. You look like a tough lady with your leather jacket. So this one comes from Steve Cambian from.
Okay, so I love how he said it. You look like a tough lady with your leather jacket. But I hate when this happens. Hold on.
Like a tough lady with your leather jacket. So this one comes from Steve Cambian from Truth Seekers.
And you can see kind of automatically, like, holy shit, what's gonna be asked. She's already like, I don't know what to do. You can see, just the look in her face, the look in her eyes type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
on your website there's a picture of a genuine alien taken to the moon, and the image that you used was from a 2005 video game called Area 51. Cambian, so Steve Cambian is referring to himself in the third person. Cambian from Truth Seekers emailed you as the proof that what you're selling was from a video game, and then you refused to change. So okay, so whatever. There's some accusations there. Do you mind explaining?
Okay, so and I'm gonna say like this. One of the problems that I have, and that many of us have, okay. One of the problems that many of us have when it comes to the people in the top echelon of ufology, which includes Linda Moulton Howe, is how come a lot of these radio show hosts or YouTubers or whatever, why they don't ask the hard questions? Or why don't they ask a question that's not, you know, a softball question, you know? Like, a lot of the times is, you know, and many of you will agree with me, is that they'll ask a whole bunch of stuff, but they're not gonna ask any question that will actually bring out some controversial things that either they've done or they're doing or whatever. Okay? And I think, and the way that she handled this, and here's my thing, I used to have a lot of respect for Linda Moulton Howe. I did, I did. And this was, in the beginning, I did have a lot of respect for her because, she was, as a trained journalist, she really, she went out there and she did certain things that I thought were, and again, I'm trained as a journalist, but I'm not a journalist. But I know what I'm looking for when it comes to people who call themselves journalists and are in ufology or in any field that you want to be a journalist in. And I used to have a lot of respect for her. I used to admire her and what have you. And I saw many times that she would bring out some really cool pics on some stuff. And I think her go-to line was, and there wasn't Photoshop back then. There, people would say, "Oh, Photoshop," but there wasn't Photoshop during this time period and what have you. And I was wondering many times how come she would say something like that. And don't get me wrong, it's true there wasn't Photoshop back then, but as I did more research on many of the things with Linda Moulton Howe, it's almost like either she never truly vetted anything or anybody. She never truly vetted, and she just took things at either she took it at face value, like she believed it all, or she was in on the scam. She was in on the con. And that's just my opinion, based, on just so maybe I'll say in the beginning she may have had good intentions and she did her best, but as throughout the years, it's kind of like maybe she was in on the con, and this is just based, again, like how many times has she said, and there wasn't Photoshop back then. There wasn't Photoshop back then. Of course, there wasn't Photoshop back then, but there were airbrush experts, people that would airbrush things onto or off of pictures, and then there was a lot of things like that. There was practical effects, like in the movies, right? Nowadays like the special effects are all CGI and whatever, but then you have other movies that they do practical special effects, like actual explosions and whatever, and stuff like that. So it's like I think one of the coolest things that she put out there was what was it called? I think it was the Dragonfly UFO, and there was like videos and pictures and things like that. And I'm like, okay, so how could something like that be done if you have the budget? Okay, if you have the budget and you're trying to con somebody, how can that be done? And I'm thinking back to like how there people could use a crane. People could have used the crane to hold this damn thing up in the air or something like that. And even back then in old school movies, if they were using a crane with a wire, they can airbrush the wire out directly on the film. So there's so many different things that could have been done to make that Dragonfly UFO video. And again, I'm just going back to like one of the constant constant thing that she would always say is that there wasn't Photoshop, there wasn't this, there wasn't that. No, but there were other things that, you know, different movie production people type stuff, government type stuff could have done to make this happen. You know, that they were practical, and with the combination with airbrushing and whatever. So this is why I would think personally she may have been in on the con many times. Okay, so if you look at her like, you know, and you'll hear her reaction in a second. She's kind of like, she has her, you know, she's like, how am I, you know, for me this kind of looks like, damn it, how am I going to respond to this? How am I going to respond to this? How am I, that's kind of like the look that she has. How am I going to respond? It's not a look of what is you know, like she's confused. This isn't a confused look. This is more of shit, how am I going to respond to this? Somebody calling me out. Okay?
To the audience what that picture is about, its provenance, and perhaps why you would not take it down if someone showed you it was video game art.
What are you talking about?
So right now, immediately, she tries to kind of deflect it, right? She tries to deflect it, push it away, kind of like, pretend like she doesn't know what's being talked about, okay? You know, it's like she knew that was from a video game. She knows that she's had a bunch of, you know, and this is my opinion again. You know, she knew that this was from a video game. She knew that a bunch of people have contacted her website about it, saying, "Hey, why are you saying this is real when this is from a video game?" You know. Now, if I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt of she doesn't know what is being talked about, it would only be because she has no idea of the goings on between with the website, you know, with whoever is in charge of the website. But I doubt it, which is, and you know, I'm not going to give her the benefit of the doubt on that, because I doubt it. I think, you know, she has a big hand on what's going on in the website. She looks on her website. They, you know, everybody that takes part in, you know, the webmasters, they go to her for approval. They're like, okay, this is and then there you go. I doubt that she doesn't know what's going on. So I can't give her that, you know, give her that benefit of the doubt. There's just no way.
Okay, I can show the image. I don't have it printed here, but I can show the audience the image at some point. So you don't know what is being referred to here with the video game cover art of Area.
And right there, you can see, is like the look on her face is like, oh shit, I'm being called out. It's like, oh, you know, the look on her face is like, oh shit, I'm finally being called out. She's like, she's nervous. She's nervous because no one has ever called her out. And mind you, this isn't Kurt asking his own question. This is Kurt getting, and if you look in the interview, he's asking questions from people on Reddit, asking, you know, people from the YouTube chat, asking from everywhere, you know, and it's like, you know, her mind says, oh shit, somebody's actually asking. Somebody's not softballing me. Somebody's actually asking the questions, and the host has the nerve, has the goal to ask the questions from the audience and whatnot. You know, it's like she's nervous because she doesn't know how to respond. The look on her face tells it all. She doesn't know how to respond. She doesn't know how to, you know, how to lie her way out of it. you know, and then when she finally responds, we're gonna get into that in a minute.
Area 51, and that being used as a genuine image on your website apparently.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And that's gonna be her go-to. I have no idea what you're talking about. She knows exactly what Kurt was talking about. She knows exactly what Stephen Cambian's question was referring to. She's just embarrassed. You can see she's embarrassed and she's shocked because finally somebody is calling her out. Again, this is just my opinion based on looking at everything and having seen a lot of Linda Moulton Howe's videos and what have you. And here, you know, she knows exactly. I mean, look at her face. She wants to cry. She wants to cry. You can tell she wants to cry. You can tell she wants to cry. She's trying to compose herself because she, you know, she has no idea how to respond. She has, you know, she wants to cry because she has no idea how to respond to somebody finally calling her out, because she spent all these years in the limelight with nobody calling her out. And if she has been called out, she's had a lot of people protecting her, where she never had to man up, for lack of a better word, you know, woman up, man up, and actually answer the questions.
Kurt, I don't know why you are
I love this right here. Okay.
reducing the interview to this kind of petty stuff at the end.
Okay, now she wants to blame Kurt. Now she wants to blame Kurt. Again, she's trying to deflect everything away from her. Okay? All Kurt is doing is asking questions from the audience. Okay? That's all he was doing. Asking questions from the audience. And because she has no idea how to respond, she has no idea how to react, because, you know, this is the first time in her illustrious career where somebody finally is calling her out. Now she's gonna try to blame it on Kurt, saying, oh, I don't know why you're reducing this interview to this petty crap, or we just listen here.
I really don't. I have been working.
Okay, now again she's gonna try to deflect it again. Okay, that instead of answering the question, or try to answer the question and be like, she, you know, and let's put it this way, she could have easily have gone the route of, I really don't know what you're talking about, as I have no say, I have no clue what's on the website. I pay a bunch of people to just post my articles and videos on the website. She could have gone that route, and you know what, that could have given, and watch, right now, just by me saying it, and if she's watching my channel, I doubt it, or somebody that knows her is watching my channel, watch, they're gonna use this next, okay, what I'm gonna say next, okay? She, you know, she could have said, I just pay somebody to do the website, to post the articles that I write and post the videos that I make. I really don't know anything else other than that. She, you know, and watch, that's gonna be the next thing that she's gonna say or do. Okay, more than likely. But right now she didn't go that route. She's going to this whole route of, I have been doing this for umpteenth years, and I've won these awards, and this and that and the other, and you know, she's gonna say it a bunch of times. Okay, so let's just.
As a professional journalist since 1968, I started at KNBC television. I went to ABC in Boston. I was hired to be director of special projects at the CBS station in Denver. I have corrected 1 million scripts. I have no idea, 40, 50 years, how many scripts. Information that is just elementary to being a professional journalist. And I have a tremendous number of awards that are even in boxes, 35, 40 professional awards as a journalist. Why?
Okay, so I'm just saying, it's, you know, a lot of these people, and I've seen this happen a lot in, not just in ufology, but in many other fields where you got, you know, people who call themselves journalists, where they get called out on their shit, and instead of answering the questions and whatever, they go back and they go into this defense mode of, you know, that is, you know, where it's like the fight or flight response, right? And the people who you know, who fight, they will do what she's doing. They will say, I have spent the umpteenth years as a journalist, and I've, you know, let's use her verbiage, and I've corrected scripts for how many years, and I have won hundreds and thousands of awards, and I got a bunch of them in boxes, and, you know, and that's the fight. And then the flight response would be that they immediately just leave the interview, like, you know what, why are you gonna offend me like this? I'm out. You know what I mean? So right now she's in fight mode, where, you know, she's trying to save her character. Okay, she's trying to save her character by saying, I've done the, you know, and whatever. And she's trying to blame everybody else but herself.
You would end up with some kind of a stupid question like this is beyond me.
Okay, first and foremost, it is not a stupid question. Again, this is part of the fight mode, where they try to deflect, they try to call the question stupid, they try to say it's offensive. It is offensive because it is calling you out on your bullshit. That simple. It is not a stupid question. It is a legitimate question asking about this picture that you have on your website, where and you're let's put it this way, you know, your sheeple who will not question anything you say or do, yeah, they might fall for that, but the majority of the people who, you know, are you know, they're getting tired of all the bullshit. The people who've already been tired of all the bullshit, they're not gonna believe you. Okay, so you know, so they're not gonna think of it as a stupid question, because it's not a stupid question, not at all whatsoever, not at all whatsoever. Okay, the question is that you have this picture on your website that you claim, or let's just say your website claims is a real picture of an ET, but in reality it is not a real picture of an ET. It is a picture of a cover, of a game cover for the game Area 51. Can you explain it? So instead of, and she could have gone the route of, again, and this is probably what she's gonna do next, she could have gone the route of, well, I don't pay attention to my actual website. I pay somebody to just publish the articles, and they make the choices of whatever. She could have just said something like that. I mean, people would have still called her out on her bullshit, but the fact that she made this big dramatization, she got so overly dramatic, it just shows that she's full of shit.
It's hostile, Kurt.
It is not hostile. It was not a hostile. Did he come off to you as hostile? No, he didn't. He asked the question that Stephen Cambian sent in. Now so you're trying to deflect it 300 different ways. Trying to blame Kurt. You're trying to blame Kurt. You're trying to deflect it by talking about all your accolades. You're trying to deflect it by, pretending to be hurt. That somebody called. Of course you're hurt. Somebody called you out on your shit. But it's ridiculous.
Why would you do this? It's meaningless. I mean, why are you playing? Now we're going to trap Linda in some. This is.
Number one, again, she's trying to blame Kurt. Nobody's trying to trap you. We all want the truth. That's all we want. We want the truth. The facts. That you as a journalist apparently have never given us. Okay? It is a question. It is not a stupid. The only stupid question is the question never asked. Let's put it that way. So it is not a stupid question. It's not a hostile question. He didn't come off to you as hostile. And for the most part, from the videos that I have seen of Kurt, he's never come off as hostile. The fact that Linda Moulton Howe has become this over dramatic over a simple question, that she could have just as easily just brushed it off and said, well, I really don't know because I'm not in charge of the website type stuff. The fact that she's making this big dramatization of, I'm hurt, oh my god, and then talking about your millions of you know what, this is how Linda Moulton Howe looked when trying to talk about her accolades. This is how she looked.
It's all about me. Please look at me. I am so pretty. Love me. Want me.
So, come on now.
Ridiculous.
I'm asking some of the most upvoted questions, so there's the sentiment.
Again, now Kurt is explaining to her. And I think Kurt did an excellent job explaining to her what he meant, that these are the most upvoted questions. He's talking about how, on this website and on this website, that, these are the questions and they're upvoted, meaning that people vote them to be the questions that Kurt should ask. And that's how he made the decisions of which questions to ask. It's not that he went to trap her or whatever, like this looks like a good question to trap her. No, it's just like, okay, well, people really want to know about this. People really want to know about this. People really want, this wasn't a setup. Sheesh. I hate when that happens. This wasn't a setup.
In the community that you're a great investigative reporter, especially your early work, and that toward the end of the career, perhaps not as much due diligence in vetting sources. This is just a perception, so that's why people are upvoting it.
By
again, and he makes a great he makes a great point of explaining it. That maybe in the beginning she did a good job and whatever, but now towards the end it's like she's not vetting people and whatever, and now she wants to know by who, upvoted by who, what, when you get into any, when it comes to, let's say, television or radio, when any form of for lack of a better word, entertainment, I guess, right? When you're getting into, if you're becoming a journalist, you're going to have people who like you, people who don't like you. You're going to have people who will defend you, people who won't defend you. You're going to have people who will believe what you have to say. You're going to have people that don't believe what you have to say, and they're going to question it, and they're going to be very skeptical, and they're going to, you know, ask questions that you may not feel comfortable asking, but answering. But then why are you in this field if a simple question like this is getting you so dramatic? Why are you in this field of journalism if just one question is going to bring out this big show of dramatization of, I'm offended?
Whom? That's not my relationship with the world.
Because you see, she just says with whom, like, you know, like that's not her relationship. Yeah, her relationship with the world, and you know, and let's be real about this, and this is how it is with a lot of people in ufology. Okay, her relationship with the world is with people who kiss her ass. Okay, and I'm taking off my sneakers right now, so I apologize. Her relationship with the world are with people that kiss her ass and do not question anything that she does or says. And her relationship with the world has a lot of people that surround her, that protect her from the skeptics who are asking the questions that she doesn't want to answer.
I'm just telling you, this is what many people have upvoted, so I'm asking the questions that people are interested in knowing the answer to.
You're accusing me of being some gullible 2-year-old.
Okay, first of all, now again she goes on the attack. Okay, she's saying that Kurt is accusing her. Kurt is not accusing anybody. He's asking a genuine question that was sent in, that was upvoted by a bunch of people. So again, now instead of, you know, so again, it's another form of deflect. She's just deflecting. Continue. That's all she's trying to do throughout this whole thing, trying to deflect it off of her. Okay.
And I have just celebrated my 80th revolution around the sun.
Okay, okay. Instead of saying my 80th birthday, she say my 80th revolution around the sun. But she's trying to. That doesn't impress anybody. By saying that, just say, I just turned 80. You know, I mean, and you know, let's put it this way. Good, you're 80 years old. God bless you. Or as CW Chandler would say, God bless you, God bless you. You know, God bless you. You're 80 years old. You just celebrated your 80th birthday. Awesome. Awesome. But what does that have to do with the question that was asked? Nothing. She's trying to deflect it. I'm 80 years old. How dare you treat an old lady like this? That's like what she's doing at this moment.
I have produced literally a few thousand reports.
Okay, now again, here we go with the accolades. Here we go with the accolades, right? You know?
At files.com. Many, many, many documentaries for television broadcast. There is something about this, Kurt, that just feels so unprofessional, so unfair. I am doing hard investigation every day and every week of my life on a variety of topics.
Okay. So in other words, because nobody is kissing the boo-boo, nobody is kissing your ass, nobody's there to protect you, it is offensive that somebody actually asked the question. Again, you're supposed to be a journalist. What is your job as a journalist? Your job as a journalist is to ask questions. That's your job as a journalist, is to ask who, what, where, when, why, and how. That's your job as a journalist. That's it. And then present the findings. Okay? And then, as a journalist, if the people that you're presenting your findings to, if they ask even more questions, even questions that you may not like, but they're legitimate questions, because as I said, there's no such thing as a stupid question, but the question that hasn't been asked. Your job is to find answers to those questions as well. So if you're offended easily by somebody asking a question, so then what are you what are you doing being out there as a public figure, as a journalist? Because that's what she is. She's a public figure. She's a public figure, and anybody that's a public figure, you're gonna have people that will disagree with you, as much as you have people that agree with you. But again, she doesn't have, she doesn't know how to handle people. She doesn't know how to handle people not kissing her ass. She doesn't know how to handle people not protecting her from the people who are not going to kiss her ass. So what is she doing? What is she doing? She's trying to deflect. She's trying to play a guilt trip. Okay, that's what she's doing. She's trying to play a guilt trip of, how dare you do this to an 80-year-old lady? How dare you do this to a woman who has produced thousands and thousands of this, that, and the other? How dare you do this to someone who's won so many awards? That shit doesn't matter. We're asking a question, a simple question concerning something that's on your own website.
I ask even Luis Elizondo, I ask many people similar questions about NDAs and is this piece of evidence proof? Is it proof? Do you have a public record of so-and-so? It's not as if this is such a strange question.
You just said it's because you have a reputation essentially of being gullible.
I got to go back into the original interview. I don't think I heard him say anything about being gullible, but I could be mistaken, because I got to go back into the original video. But I'm you know what? I'm gonna stop the video here. I'm gonna leave a link to this full video that Stephen Cambian put together and he also has the link to the original interview. And you decide for yourself. That's simple. And again, it's about time we started holding people accountable. You know what I'm saying? It's about time that, here in ufology, because if the whole point is the search for truth, then it's about time we hold people accountable. You know what I mean? And I'm glad to see that people are starting to wake up and starting to hold people accountable. It's about time. It is about time we start doing that. And it's about time that the people that have fallen into the bullshit, who have drunk in the Kool-Aid, it's about time they started holding themselves accountable for believing the bullshit. It's about time we started holding these people who are the top echelon of ufology. It's about time we started holding them accountable, and it's about time it's about time that people started holding themselves accountable and stop believing every story that they freaking hear. Because even I have a story. I haven't said it here on YouTube, and I've explained why, before in the past, because I don't have enough proof where I can actually prove it happening. I can only give you my story. I can only tell you my story. Now, and even me being a skeptical person, I even question my own story. I even think about it. Could it have been a dream? Could it have been a hallucination? Could it have been? I ask the question. I ask myself the questions every time. Because it is important that we learn the truth, from the truth for our own, for our own selves, from all the stuff that we may have experienced, the truth of what other people are telling us, whether or not the people who are telling us these stories are being truthful. I mean, we gotta, at some point we need to actually start asking the questions. You know what I mean? We may not like some of the answers, and that's fine, but let's at least ask the questions. Alright, everybody, so until next time, remember, I'm Sway, I love you all, peace.